Today we'll be doing another upgrade for my Hot Toys Amazing Spider-Man figure. So by now you could probably tell I'm a pretty big Amazing Spider-Man fan. When No Way Home came out, Hot Toys made an Amazing Spider-Man 2 figure, but it wasn't specific to No Way Home because of maybe licensing issues or something like that. But they did make a lizard base and accessory set to give that figure a No Way Home style upgrade. However, I don't have that Amazing Spider-Man 2 figure, and its head sculpt, from what I've seen online at least, looks a little bit rough, so hopefully they'll make a new one in the future. But they did give us a 10 out of 10 head sculpt with their Amazing Spider-Man 1 2.0 figure, and I love this figure. To make sure that head sculpt didn't go back in the box, I actually put it on a Rise Work body set as my first upgrade to this figure. And now I'll be upgrading it further with the Lizard No Way Home style base, since the Lizard was a villain of the first Amazing Spider-Man movie. Yes, the Amazing Spider-Man figure had Deluxe Edition with an awesome looking tower base, but honestly, I couldn't fit in my current displays when I measured it, so I just went for the standard edition with today's base upgrade in the back of my mind. As you all know, all good unboxings start with a box, and this one follows a No Way Home box style theme. At a glance, this may look like a lizard figure by Hot Toys since it has a big image of the lizard on the front, but looking closer it says 1/6 scale diorama base. So I do wonder if anyone out there got bamboozled thinking it was a lizard figure when they saw the outside of the box. The sides of the box just complete the lizard with the Doc Ock tentacles and some pumpkin bombs in the background. Taking that slipcover off now, we get a sneak preview of the lizard base. And the back of this box has a big Tom Holland spider symbol and some more like purple portal type things when all the Spider-Man villains were just coming for him. Now we can take the top off the plastic tray and we're greeted by that base. And man, the detail already looks insanely good. There's a flight pole and the lizard cure in the box as well. The base looks phenomenal. I love all the detail on the lizard, and the base itself just perfectly represents the Amazing Spider-Man. They made sure to only put the lizard and lightning onto this base to obviously represent the lizard from Amazing Spider-Man 1 and then also Electro from Amazing Spider-Man 2. The lizard actually pops off the base, and man, those eyes are terrifying. I feel like he's just looking into my soul. But the face looks awesome with the big sharp teeth, yellow eyes, and lots of tense muscle detailing on the neck. The skin detailing overall is just incredible. Every scale can be felt since they're all sculpted into the body. The mix of greens, yellowy greens, and darker greens also help bring this figure to life. The darker greens help emphasize the muscles and help add some shadowing. There's also some seams, but honestly, they're not too noticeable, so I'll give them a pass since this is one big solid piece. So I don't think seams were too necessary since there's no articulation, but honestly, some articulation would have been pretty cool to see. The base is another standout. I'm blown away by all the details. Each rock is sculpted with lots of imperfections, and then the paintwork just adds to it. The crevices are darker to kind of show that shadowing detail. Then there's some yellow lightning effects everywhere, kind of just glued to the base, so definitely be careful with them. And I just love the fact they put them to represent Electro. We can see some additional construction detailing like rebar sticking out of the concrete and a big steel beam right there, and they did an amazing job at detailing these. Like, the steel beam has a rough texture to it, and it looks like it might even be a little bit rusty with the paint job they did. There's two removable rock pieces on the base to give us two options for where to secure the flight pole. The flight pole is incredibly long this time, and I guess it needs to be to get the figure up in the air above Lizard. Now for the one accessory the base comes with, and it's the Lizard's cure. I absolutely love the metallic blue finish on here with the school logo, and I couldn't get the camera to focus too well on it, but trust me when I tell you that the school logo, they did an amazing job at detailing something like so small on there. The top of the canister has the dispenser for that kind of like smoky green cure done in like a goldish and silver color. Then there's some wire details sculpted onto the canister, also held down by black sculpted duct tape. Now the first upgrade to make to my Amazing Spider-Man collection is actually the old base. Now I can use that Hot Toys figure base with the Rise Work Andrew Garfield body set, and I love how this looks. It gets the figure off the generic base and onto an Amazing Spider-Man specific one. Now for the part of the video I have been the most excited to record. We get to pose the figure with this base, and man, this was so much fun to do. Honestly, I was a little worried since the lizard on the base didn't articulate in the slightest, so I was kind of thinking, okay, I need to make sure the figure is always in the front, like kind of in front of his face and his hands. So I thought I would have kind of limited posability, but as it turns out, I could do quite a few of them. It kind of made me think a little bit more creatively about how to use the base and the figure together. Like I could have the lizard grabbing Spidey's leg, then I could have Spidey like kicking off him or just kicking him in general and just different things like that. Luckily, there was a hand that came with the Amazing Spider-Man that perfectly held the canister. I'll admit, the canister did fall a couple times while posing, but if I locked in a pose and then slid the canister in his hand, it was perfect. Shelf-wise, the base is larger, but it perfectly fits in there next to my integrated suit Spidey, also on the diorama base from No Way Home. Plus, these bases are meant to be displayed together since they're all from the same movie. I do have the No Way Home Toby figure with that Sandman base, which, from what I've seen online, actually gets sand everywhere. So we'll definitely be looking at that soon on the channel to display with these other two Spideys. And also, of course, to address the elephant in the room, this is not Andrew's suit from No Way Home, but to be honest, this is such an amazing figure that these three Spideys are still going to look amazing together on the shelf. And also, I think this was my last upgrade I wanted to make to the Amazing Spider-Man 1 figure, for now at least. If there's more potential upgrades out there, definitely let me know in the comments, but for now, I'm satisfied. But let's talk about the lizard base down in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, definitely give it a like and hit subscribe for much more content like this. Check out another figure review in the playlist that'll pop up. Maybe RiseWorks body set upgrade video, or check out the collection tour to see how my collecting journey is going. As always, thank you to the channel members. If you want to become a channel member, click the join button and you'll see your name at the end of reviews among some other benefits. I look forward to talking to you all again very soon, but until next time, stay 6 scale.